So for this weekend as a whole, from your perspective, you come in, you pitch 5 against Missouri, you shut down that game, you start against UC San Diego. What was this weekend like for you to get back to the starter in the circle?
Yeah, I feel like it's a different mindset, but that's something we've been working on a lot as a team. We've been talking about passing the ball a lot, so I go 5 innings, pass the ball to Stevie, just have trust in Stevie that she's going to get it done, Morgan, whoever it is that I'm passing the ball to, and then being able to bounce back to the next game, start or close, whatever it is, just having the mindset, kind of changing the aspect of things a little bit.
That mindset, which one do you, you're able to do both, but which one do you prefer? I mean, it's a different mindset and you're well suited for both, but you seem to really excel as a closer.
Yeah, we've worked really hard on closing at practice. For me, just being kind of like a down ball pitcher, being able to roll a lot of ground balls. So I think the closing is something that like excels me better, but starting, I've adapted with that really well, and either way, I like each one.
How would you describe your pitch style when you're in the circle?
Yeah, I'm a drop ball pitcher, so it's like a heavy ball. So I think just rolling my defense, a lot of ground balls is kind of what I focus on. I don't focus on a ton of strikeouts. I throw harder, so just a lot of contact is kind of what I'm looking for, something on the ground to let my defense get the outs.
How do you feel like you and Stevie play off of each other, whether it's you coming in for her or her coming in for you?
Yeah, I think we're pretty opposites. I mean, she's kind of up ball, a little slower, spinnier, and I'm more like harder, just down ball. I think we complement each other really well, just being opposites. We both are trusting our defense. She's more like pop-ups, fly-outs, and I'm more ground ball. So I think just giving the hitter different eyes is really big for the both of us.
Speaking of that defense, you've been on the short end of a couple of the games where you pitched really well, and then some defensive miscues have kind of led to some issues. Not so much you're doing because you're pitching to the hitter, and the hitter is, you're expecting the defense. Do you ever go back and, come on guys, pick me up, or is it just kind of one of those things where you accept that's just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, being that I do roll a lot of ground balls, I guess I trust my defense a ton, so I just look at it like that. But in between innings, we talk about it and stuff, bounce back. Paige, she always tells me, like, I got you or whatever. We kind of talk about it. The defense does a really good job about communicating to each other, communicating between innings or even after the play. So I think I don't really get caught up in, like, if they make an error. So just, like, run her on, and then we think, like, okay, let's turn around, double play then, so.
Can you take me into that outing against Missouri specifically? It was a tie for your career high in innings pitched. You were able to go long distance, only give up 2 runs over your time in the circle. Can you just take me into that game?
Yeah. So starting that game, I think I just had a different mindset, like I mentioned, opposed to closing, just starting. And Coach Lombardi always tells me, just give us however many you got in you. Like we have the staff to back you up. So if I needed to go 2 innings and I got the job done that way, Stevie or Morgan or Elise, whoever it is, could come in and close for me. But I think just taking my team as far as I can with how many innings I can go. And then 5th inning came, and then it was someone else's turn to come in and close it down. So just working together with our staff is huge.
And that UC San Diego game, starting and then coming back as kind of having both mindsets in the same game. I mean, kind of how did that process go?
Yeah. So just not checking out the whole time, like go in the first and then starting and then have someone else come in, like I mentioned, just passing the ball, trusting whoever it is that is on the field in the moment, and then going back out to the bullpen, just working on your different mindset, staying in the game, thinking about stuff that could be differently done, or think about what hitters you may face, just communication with the coaches.
Is there any different approach that you kind of use? I mean, obviously they're the same hitters, you're the same pitcher, but is there anything different that you kind of do from one role to the other?
Yeah. So I think like if I start, I kind of, I could see the lineup through the first time and say like the UC San Diego game coming back in, if I were to come back in, just knowing which hitters I'm facing again, kind of what I did last time against them. And then a closing situation, a lot of times, if it's a tough situation, bottom of the 7th, whatever it is, just trusting my defense and just like letting my pitches work, not worried too much about striking them out or whatever it is, not thinking ahead, just kind of working in the moment, just thinking ground ball, ground out, letting them work.
This weekend, those 3 ranked wins, 4-1 on the weekend. What does that mean for the team moving forward?
Yeah, it's huge for us. We never doubted it in our heads, but like the wins against Florida, that was huge for us. I think just the mentality of playing for each other, like Paige mentioned. We've been talking about playing for us. Walking in with the name on our jersey, the Ducks, is huge for us. A faceless opponent, like she said, just not snooping down to anybody's level or not getting caught up in like the name of Florida or whatever it is. So I think we went in there super confident and got it done.
From your perspective, what has Stevie been doing as of late that has been really working for her?
Yeah, I think she has a lot of confidence on the mound, which I think does great for her. Her rise ball, obviously, she just has really great pitches that can work well with our other staff too. Like I mentioned, just the deep staff just really helps. And she goes in, is confident, gets it done, trusts her defense. Same thing. They work really well together.
Where have you seen the biggest jump in the defense from, say last year to even this year?
I think communication is a big thing for us. We're starting to really trust each other too, I think. We communicate a lot on the field opposed to like last year or the year before even. We're communicating like I'm talking to Paige in between like every single pitch. She's letting me know like where the runners are, or what I'm going to do if the ball comes back to me, or who's covering me here and here. So I think that's been really big for us, just working together as a team.
What did this last weekend do specifically from a confidence point for, all the pitchers as a whole?
Yeah. I think we've been working a lot on just mentality in general. Stepping on the mound, just knowing who we are, knowing that we are better than the hitter, that we can get it done, that no one's going to overpower us or anything like that. So trusting my defense, like I just keep saying, that's my go-to thing to just stay confident on the mound.
What do you think your biggest area of growth has been from the time you stepped foot on campus until, you're sitting here now? Where do you think you've grown as a pitcher? Yeah,
definitely confidence on the mound. My freshman year, I was a little timid on the mound. I didn't show much emotion on the mound. I was kind of just put together. Now, like I mentioned, I'm always yelling to Paige or Taya or we're always communicating back and forth. So stepping on the mound, I'm so much more confident now, just relying on everybody else, just working me and the catcher, and more confident in my pitches, commanding the zone.
What is that communication like in between pitches? What would you tell someone, whether it be Taylor or Paige or anyone else in the field?
Yeah, so typically I just look at Paige and I'm like, Paige, you got me, or she'll say, I got you. Runners on first, she's telling me that she has me at 2, turn into double play. How many outs? Just kind of communication. I'll just usually say yeah, Paige, and then she communicates it back. I look at KK, Bunk, whoever it is. We just kind of just a little talk in between, just keep each other knowing that we have each other and that ball's coming to you or whatever. Me and Paige, a lot of times I'll be like, Paige, this one's coming to you, and I'll roll her one, so that makes it really fun.
How much does that reassurance sort of help that confidence that you were just talking about?
Huge, yeah. I think that is part of the reason, my freshman year, I was, like I mentioned, I was not a very emotional pitcher on the mound, so I was just kind of would step off the mound, get right back on and pitch. So I think talking to Paige and talking to Taya or Bunk, whoever it is, it reassures me a ton knowing that, okay, they got me this play if that's the case, or whatever it is. My emotions more, so it helps my confidence a lot, which is something I've found.
You were talking about your pitches. I mean, I know you guys can kind of generally, but how comfortable are you when you throw a pitch that you really know exactly where it's going? I mean, Greg Maddox, that made me think of him. He always would kind of he would tell the outfielders, this is how far from the wall it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
How comfortable are you, when I throw a pitch, this is what's going to happen?
Yeah. Coach Marty and I, we work on it a ton in bullpens. I mean, commanding the zone. We watch film on the hitters prior, so I think knowing the hitter and knowing what kind of hitter they are, if they get jammed a lot, that's when I usually tell Paige, okay, Paige, this one's coming to you. So just kind of thinking ahead, knowing what the outcome is going to be, watching film and all that kind of stuff.
Anything else? Our freshman Remington Hewitt is our other championship shower, in case you guys were wondering. So, who's better? Do you know?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to her.
How does that help you become a softball player?
What was that?
How does that translate to your softball skills?
Yeah, it actually helps with a lot of leadership. We do showing, so I had to show my hog, I had to present it, I had to take care of it every day, multiple times a day. So I think just it helped me grow, really, just become more on my own kind of. It's like having a dog, your own pet, so it really did help a lot.
Where did the nickname Reggie come from?
Oh, my freshman year, we all had the pitchers had alter ego names. So we all told each other we were going to give each other guy alter ego names. So Reggie was mine, and it kind of just stuck with me. That's pretty much all I go by on and off the field, actually.
What were some of the other names?
Oh, goodness. Samaria, when I was a freshman, she was here. I think hers was Randy, I want to say. Goodness, who else had one? Stevie, we call her Steve or Steve-O. We just we were talking about that recently. We just have alter ego names. When you step on the mound, who are you going to be? Are you going to be Raegan or Reggie? So Coach Marty really likes that aspect of things.
Do any of the position players have one, or is it just a pitcher thing?
Oh, goodness. The pitchers talk about it a lot. We talk about it all the time, and I think we give a lot of nicknames. Our team has a lot of nicknames. So, I think it's really just pitcher thing for now, but we come up with names all the time. So.
Do I have anything? Worry about it now, right? Thanks, Reggie. You're my favorite player.